If you are a Sagittarius, and lately you've been seeing spiders in your home, in the kitchen, the bathroom, or near the window, this is not a coincidence. This is a gentle warning, but a very precise one from the universe. And if you ignore it, you may miss the biggest turning point in your destiny. Today, I will tell you something that only brave souls are ready to receive. Because spiders don't appear to ordinary people. They appear to those who are awakening. If you feel these words knocking on your heart, comment below right now. I'm ready to hear the message from heaven. Because you don't know, maybe that one affirmation will open the door you've been waiting for many years. Sagittarius, spiders don't show up just to scare you. They appear because they are sent. And if you want to know why only Sagittarius receives this strange message, keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal, no one has ever told you before. Have you ever noticed that spiders often appear without warning? They come quietly, no colors, no sound, but they leave behind a strange feeling, as if someone is watching you from a different layer of consciousness. Most people rush to kill them or chase them away in fear. But there are other souls, often those who are stepping into their awakening journey, who pause. They don't just see the spider, they feel something that doesn't belong to the physical world. And if you are a Sagittarius, someone deeply connected to symbols, to intuition, and to the voice within, then you know what I'm about to say isn't superstition. It's a confirmation of the instinct you've carried in your blood since birth. And I can say this with the greatest respect for you, Sagittarius. Among all zodiac signs, you are the one most easily lost in ideals, but also the one most easily redeemed, if you dare to stop and listen. According to ancient Babylonian astrology, the spider is linked to the 12th house, the house of dreams, the unconscious, and the things the naked eye cannot see. It is the house where the soul is cleansed of the noise of the world to enter a meeting with itself. When a Sagittarius enters the cycle of Jupiter, moving into the 12th house in their birth chart, that is when the universe knocks on your heart through symbols. Symbols only those who know how to read can understand. And the spider is one of those symbols. It doesn't come to disrupt. It comes to ask a quiet question. Are you living in alignment with your soul, or just becoming what society expects you to be? You know this, don't you? When spiders repeatedly show up in your living space, it's not bad hygiene, it's not mating season, and it's definitely not random. It's a sign that the energetic frequency around you is shifting. A new vibration is cloaking your awareness, opening the door to realms the human eye cannot touch. And right in that place, the Sagittarius soul begins to hear the true whisper. It's time to live in alignment with the brightest part of you. I once met a middle-aged woman, a Sagittarius. She told me that within a single week, 5 spiders appeared in places that made no sense. On clean dishes, inside a brand new notebook on her pillow while she was crying. She used to think it was a bad omen. But no, that was the week she was about to give up her dream of teaching, to take on a safer administrative job. And when she paused and looked into the tiny eyes of the spider, she realized, if I can unconsciously kill a creature just because it made me uncomfortable, then I can also kill part of my soul. Just because society told me it wasn't practical. She didn't quit teaching. She opened a meditation class for children in her community. And she said, it was the spiders who saved me from my own invisible fear. You see, signs only matter when the person receiving them is awake enough to notice. And if you're still watching this video, then you are not an ordinary person. You are a soul being summoned into something greater. Comment below. I am ready to hear the message from heaven. Not just to decorate the comment section, but to declare to the universe that you are now awake. Think back to the last time you saw a spider. Was it in a strange place? Were you on the verge of a big decision? Was there a subtle but nagging feeling in your chest? Don't brush it off, because we only receive signs when the soul is ready for the answer. Spiders are the only creatures who build their homes from their own bodies. And you, Sagittarius, it's time to begin rebuilding your spiritual home, using the very faith and dreams you once buried. But the bigger question still remains. Why is it during this exact period that spiders have chosen you, a Sagittarius, to appear before? And if you don't respond correctly, what might be lost? Don't leave the video. because right after this, I'll reveal an astrological alignment that's reshaping your destiny map, and why the spider is the messenger from a place higher than logic can understand. Have you ever wondered why, among millions of rooftops, millions of hearts, a spider appeared before you, a Sagittarius, at the very moment your faith was wavering? It's not because you're special in the way humans define special. It's because your soul has already been marked, like a glowing point on an invisible map only the universe can see. Sagittarius, you are ruled by Jupiter, the planet of faith, expansion, and ultimate truth. When Jupiter is powerfully present in your chart, it doesn't just awaken your curiosity and thirst for the world. It opens the gate between the spiritual and the tangible. And you, even as someone who is outwardly adventurous, carry within you a very quiet but deep ability. The ability to turn the abstract into action, to turn dreams into movement, to turn intuition into mission. In many sacred traditions, especially in Native American culture, the spider is known as the gatekeeper between worlds, between the seen and the unseen. Ancient people believed that whenever a spider appeared before your eyes, it was because a portal within you was opening. And you, Sagittarius, are standing before that very gate. Not everyone sees it, but your soul has already felt it. Maybe you haven't named it. Maybe you've just been feeling more restless lately, dreaming more vividly, holding questions in your heart that no one else can answer but you. You're starting to feel like you're on the edge of a life-changing decision. Or perhaps you're facing a crossroads of faith. And the spider, this seemingly tiny creature, brings the clearest sign of all. There is something sacred about spiders that few ever notice. They are never in a rush. They don't strive. They wait. They build quietly. They weave their webs with the tiniest threads, with a patience that feels nearly divine. And if you ask me, what do spiders come to teach us? I would say, spiders teach you this, that patience is the highest form of faith. In a chaotic world, where everything wants to be fast, early, and result-driven, you, a Sagittarius, might have been swept into that current. You always want to arrive, you always want to go far, but what you truly need sometimes doesn't lie in an outer journey, but in the ability to wait for a sign from within. And if a spider has shown up for you today, then that is an invitation from God, from the universe, from your guardian angels, for you to slow down and come home. I truly believe no zodiac sign is more gifted than Sagittarius in deciphering sacred symbols. You have the ability to look at something small and receive a message that's far greater than its form. You might be walking on the sidewalk and see a small spider spinning its web on a broken branch, and suddenly you understand, I can begin again, even if everything has already fallen apart. Leave a comment. I am ready to return to my soul's mission. Don't write it for me. Write it for yourself, because only when you declare you're ready can the universe open the next door for you to step through. Look back at your recent experiences, Sagittarius. Have you entered a phase where logic no longer explains everything? Do you feel like you're being called from a place you can't describe? And do you feel strangely moved by things that seem random, yet touch something deep in your heart? Don't question that feeling, because it isn't a feeling, it's a calling. And only the courageous Sagittarius will hear it. If any of this stirs something in your heart, share this video with someone you care about, someone who might also be seeing spiders at home, but doesn't yet realize it's a message. Give them this gift, the gift of knowing they've never been alone. But the story doesn't end here, because in the moment you see a spider, there isn't just a message, there's also a warning. A very important detail lies in the timing and location of the spider's appearance, and I believe, if you understand it, you'll see that each spider is a secret map to your destiny. Stay with me, because next, I'll reveal the mystery behind different kinds of spiders, each moment they appear, and what it all says about the door that's about to open for you, Sagittarius. Are you ready? Have you ever stood still before a spider's web? Not to brush it away, not out of fear, but because you felt that something was being written there, with threads thin as breath, but carrying an indescribable weight. If you've ever had such a moment, you may have come very close to the point of communication between you and the universe. Sagittarius, every spider web you've ever seen, is a profound symbol of your inner journey, the one you have walked and are still walking. Some people see spider webs and say, "Oh, just an old corner." But you, a soul who is awake, will know. This is a map of the cycles I've woven, with my thoughts, my beliefs, and my choices. Each strand is a decision, each intersection a turning point, and at the center is you. I once met an elderly woman in Colorado, a Sagittarius born in December. She told me that every morning she would find a spider web in the corner of her garden fence. At first she wanted to clear it. But one morning, right after losing her lifelong partner, she stood before that web, and for the first time she wept. Because she saw herself in that spider, quietly weaving everything kind in her life, even if no one ever saw. And she told me something I'll never forget. Maybe that web came to remind me that every thread I've ever woven meant something to someone in this universe. Did you know? Spiders don't choose their shelter at random. They choose places with sacred energy, places where transformation is already happening, and the moment they appear is never an accident. If a spider appears in daylight, that's a sign of a coming shift in your work, your public image, or how you show up in the world. You may be called into a new position. A project you've quietly nurtured may soon be revealed, or maybe it's finally time to stop hiding your true self. If a spider appears in the dark, that's a soft whisper about your emotions, your dreams, and the things transforming within your heart. Maybe you recently dreamed of someone you once loved. Maybe an old memory returned, not to hurt you, but to be healed one last time. Whether it shows up in light or shadow, the spider carries the same message. You are not forgotten. Everything you feel, everything you do, is weaving something far greater than you realize. Think back to the last spiderweb you saw. What were you thinking at that moment? Share it in the comments, because your story might help another Sagittarius see themselves in a whole new way. But there's one more thing you need to know. Sometimes your reaction to seeing the spider is the clearest message about how you respond to destiny. Did you fear it and try to push it away? Or did you stop and quietly acknowledge that you've just been called? After this, I will show you something. Your very first reaction to a tiny creature reveals more than you think about how you're processing the big changes happening in your life. Stay with me, because the answer is already very close to you. There are moments no one knows except you and God. When you wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding from a dream you can't explain. When you stand before the mirror and no longer recognize how bright your eyes used to be. Or when you're just washing dishes, brushing your hair, or sitting in silence, and suddenly a spider appears. Quiet, tiny, it says nothing. But you know, your soul knows, this is not a coincidence. Sagittarius, when spiders begin appearing repeatedly around you, it's no longer a physical occurrence. It is a signal from the unseen world that you are entering a fated activation moment. And in astrology, there is no moment more sacred than when the 8th house is touched. The 8th house is where death happens without warning, where old identities quietly fall away so the true soul can be reborn. There is no fire, no crying, only transformation, in silence. A spider, small as it may be, has the ability to sense the finest frequencies across the web it has built, and so do you. You're sensing a new vibration from your soul, even though no one has said a word, even though no one can prove it. Something inside you is no longer the same. Maybe you don't know what to do, maybe you're still confused, but you know something big is coming, and you can't turn back. One time I asked a Sagittarius friend, "When did you know you were changing deeply?" And she said, "When I no longer cried over things that used to shatter me, when I started to feel compassion for myself, in silence, and when I saw a spider on my window. And instead of fear, I felt gratitude." Sagittarius, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how quiet your inner battles have been, but I do know this. God doesn't always send angels with glowing halos. Sometimes he sends a tiny creature, just to see if you're willing to listen, humbly. And if you're listening today, it means you've been chosen. You don't have to understand everything to move forward. You just have to believe long enough to see how it all connects in the end. Like the spider, it never sees the full web while weaving it. It simply trusts each thread, and so must you. Don't ask when or why. Just begin to weave again, with small acts, with kind thoughts, with your honest presence. If this speaks to your heart, comment below. I'm ready to walk through the new gate in silence. No need to explain, just affirm it, to yourself and to the universe, that you have seen the sign. But the gate you're about to walk through will open with a very specific key. The way you respond when facing fear. Let me show you. Your first reaction to the spider, or to anything that makes you uncomfortable, is the clearest mirror of how ready you are to step into the mission you've been assigned. Stay with me, because the greatest lesson is not in what you see, but in how you choose to see. Have you ever asked yourself, what could something as small as a spider reveal about my soul? You don't have to believe it right away. You just need to pause long enough to realize the way you respond to a harmless creature mirrors how you respond to the opportunities of fate. When a spider suddenly appears in your space, maybe in the kitchen, on the doorknob, or by your bedroom window, what do? Do you scream and try to kill it? Do you feel uneasy, out of control, and rush to chase it away? Or do you stop, observe, feel a little surprised, a little curious, but don't react impulsively? You just stand there, as if your soul is saying, wait, maybe this means something. Do you see? Your first reaction to the spider is a small reflection of how you deal with the silent opportunities the universe sends. Opportunities that never arrive with bright lights or loud announcements. They arrive quietly, hidden in the unexpected, and sometimes in the uncomfortable. If you kill the spider, maybe you've just killed a small part of your soul's path. Not because the spider is sacred in a superstitious way, but because you've just refused a message from something greater. What you're really telling the universe is this: I'm not ready to look deeply at what scares me. I only want signs that are pleasant, beautiful, and clean. But the universe doesn't operate for your comfort. The universe operates for your growth. And if you remain still, observing without rushing to push it away, without panic, then what you're showing is a deep respect for something you don't yet understand, and a willingness to cooperate with signals too subtle to explain. You've become a partner to the universe rather than someone resisting it. And sometimes, just that small act is enough for the universe to say, this one is ready. Open the next gate. In a world where everyone wants fast, easy, guaranteed, do you have the courage to pause? Can you sit with what makes you uncomfortable without needing to eliminate it? Because sometimes, the very thing that scares you is the thing trying to save you. I once met a girl, a Sagittarius, who told me, I had just gone through something painful. One evening, I opened the window for air and saw a spider suspended right in front of me. I wanted to hit it, but I was too tired. So I just sat down and looked at it. And you know what? After a few silent seconds, my heart softened. I saw it maintaining balance, dangling in the wind, swaying gently with every breeze, and yet it wasn't afraid. It just hung there, between sky and earth, as if it knew, I don't need to control everything in order to live. Then she said, that was the first time I realized I could live too, even if I didn't know what's coming. In every instinctive reaction, a spiritual story is being told, unfinished. The way you respond is a mirror of how much you trust in the unseen. Whether you're resisting divine guidance or surrendering to the current God has shaped just for you. In a hurried world, the spider teaches us the one thing we most often forget: to honor the small and trust what we do not yet understand. Because sometimes gentleness and patience are the doors through which revelation enters. When was the last time you saw a spider and felt something? Share it in the comments, because maybe, just maybe, your simple story could help another Sagittarius remember something they've long forgotten. But that's not all. Because some spiders just pass through, some stay, and some begin spinning their webs right in front of you. And the position, the pattern, the way that web is woven can reveal the divine coordinates that the universe is sketching out just for you. Next, I'll show you how to read these sacred coordinates woven in silk and why you're being called back to a mission written long ago. Stay with me, because this time, the answer isn't out there. It's in the way you choose to look at something that once felt meaningless. There's a question your soul is asking, even if your mouth hasn't spoken it. Why now? Why are these signs showing up at this exact moment? And the answer lies in something sacred shifting in the skies above you. A rare astrological alignment is activating your personal destiny. Sagittarius, your ruling planet, Jupiter, is forming a powerful trine with Uranus, the planet of awakening, freedom, and sudden breakthrough. This isn't a loud alignment. You won't hear thunder, but it moves inside you like a silent tide, pushing you toward what you once forgot or once rejected. You might feel a sudden urge to learn something new. You might find yourself remembering a childhood dream, one you once loved but put away to become practical. Or maybe you're realizing the person you trusted most was the one who made you doubt your own light. You're not imagining these feelings. They are real. They are the result of a sacred rearrangement taking place between the planets and your soul. In astrology, when Jupiter and Uranus meet in a trine, it's a moment when old beliefs are tested, and a new path reveals itself if you are brave enough to move forward without needing approval. And do you know who the messenger is during this time? The spider. While you're still hesitating, still wondering if you're being too dreamy, the spider, that tiny creature, appears quietly as a divine confirmation from God. No one else needs to believe. You just need to believe and keep going. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will walk with you, but that was never a requirement for your mission. The spider doesn't ask for permission to spin. It doesn't seek validation before showing up. It simply does what its soul was designed to do. And you too, Sagittarius. You don't need a social survey to start living in alignment with your inner calling. You only need to do what's right, even if no one understands yet, because the truth within you does not require an audience to be sacred. You might feel like you're losing your way. You might feel like everything around you is changing too fast for you to control. But believe this, it's all part of a process, the rebuilding of your faith. What used to be your foundation is now trembling, not to destroy you, but to invite you to rebuild it, stronger, deeper, and more aligned with the light you were truly meant to carry. I want you to ask yourself something, and ask it honestly. If I didn't need approval, if I didn't need agreement from anyone, where would I begin again? And if the answer rises in your heart, then that is your first step into the new path already calling your name. What were you thinking about the last time a spider appeared near you? Leave a comment, because the story you share might become a mirror for another Sagittarius soul who feels lost. But there's one more thing you need to know. Not all spiders are the same. Some bring messages about your work, some carry signals about your dreams and emotions, and some appear at the precise moment when you're caught between two major decisions. I'll show you how to tell the difference, how to read the timing and context of each spider, so you can decode what the universe is whispering just for you. Stay here, Sagittarius, because the light that's coming isn't loud, but it is precise, and it is arriving right on time, more faithful than any promise another person ever made to you. I want to tell you a true story, one that still gives me chills to this day, not out of fear but reverence. She was a Sagittarius, living in Texas, a brilliant, deeply thoughtful woman who had worked in a major financial firm for over a decade. From the outside, everything looked perfect. A stable job, high salary, well-respected colleagues. But what no one saw was how her soul was quietly fading. Not because the job was hard, but because it was no longer a place where she could live as her full self. Each day, she went to work with a polite smile and eyes that no longer shone. Until one evening, she stayed late, alone in the office, staring out the window. And there it was, a spider, spinning a web, slowly, patiently, on the glass window of the 18th floor. She told me, I don't know why I couldn't stop looking at it. I just sat there, watching it work, thread by thread, motion by motion. And suddenly I realized the spider wasn't afraid of the height. It didn't care who was watching, it just wove, and it was living in alignment with its instinct, something I had forgotten how to do. The next day, she handed in her resignation. No clear plan, just a fragile belief that if the universe sent that spider at that exact moment, then maybe something was waiting for her on the other side. 2 weeks later, she received an unexpected email from an international education organization inviting her to Europe to teach philosophy, symbolism, and astrology. It was a position she had never even applied for. And when I asked her, Do you regret it? She smiled and said, if I hadn't seen that spider that day, I might have missed my destiny. Sagittarius, this story isn't meant to impress you. It's meant to remind you. Some signs never appear twice. They only arrive when your soul is still enough to see and your heart is brave enough to believe. And if today you too are standing at a crossroads, if you too have been seeing spiders again and again, then please know this: the universe never calls the wrong person. Some signs never appear twice. They're only meant for the one whose heart is quiet enough to notice. Don't let yourself become someone who walks past the sign and never understands it. Because there are many opportunities in life, but sacred timing only visits once. Have you ever experienced a strange sign right before a major life change? If yes, share your story below. Because what you write today might awaken another Sagittarius who's about to step through the door of their true life. But the story doesn't end with what has already happened. There's still a greater message that you need to hear. A deeper truth that every spider you've seen lately, every emotion you're going through, has never been random. And in this final part, I will tell you why your soul has been prepared long ago to go where not everyone dares to go. And why now, not later, is the golden moment of your awakening. Stay with me, Sagittarius, because the light you've been searching for has already begun shining from within. Sagittarius, if you've walked with me this far, then I believe something in you has truly opened. Not because of strange stories, not because of mystical symbols, but because, finally, you listen to yourself. You may be in the middle of a life shift that no one but you understands. You may be standing at the edge of a decision that your heart hasn't dared to speak aloud. But if you've been seeing the signs, if you've been seeing the spiders, then please remember this: you are not crazy. You are not imagining things. You are being guided. God never abandons a soul that's finding its way back home. And the universe always finds a way to return you to your true essence, even when you've forgotten what that is. Thank you, sincerely, deeply, for choosing to stay until the end of this journey. Thank you for opening your heart, even just a little, because sometimes all it takes is the smallest crack in the heart for the light to pass through. Thank you, because you didn't just listen to a video, you listened to your soul speaking. And now, it's time to act. Don't walk away as if you heard nothing. If your heart was truly stirred, write down one thing you're ready to begin again. A dream, a decision, a promise to yourself. Comment below, I am ready to live in alignment with my inner calling. Don't just write it for visibility. Write it as a message to the universe that you have awakened, that you saw the spider and you understood. If you know someone who's also been waiting for a sign, share this video with them, not to explain, but so that they may feel what they need to feel. Because every soul receives the message in the moment they are ready. And maybe you are the one meant to awaken them. The end is not the stopping point. It's the gate that opens into a new chapter. And if you choose to, I'll be here every week to walk with you through the symbols, the shifts, the whispers of the universe being sent to your soul alone. I'll see you in the next video, where we will no longer fear our own light, where truth is no longer doubted, where your soul will finally walk into the destiny it's been waiting for its whole life. Are you ready? Tell me below. Because I believe that when you admit it, the door will open, and this time you will walk through it without hesitation.